Because they're all insane in these liberal cities, right? Here's an article from the New York Post. This is by Daniel Wallace. New York City man released from Rikers Island over virus arrest. And virus arrested on new, oh jeez, man, rape charge report. Again, like these insane people above, right? They'll sacrifice the common citizen just to push some type of identity politics, right? What an awful, awful headline. And imagine if that was your girlfriend, you'll be really, really upset. That was your whatever. I hate using those lines because feminists try to apply those things to not serious situations. But again, the people who seemingly vote for these policies, they seemingly are the ones who always get crushed the most. They're the ones who are always affected. And it's just enough is enough sometimes. So anyway, a Brooklyn man was arrested Saturday for allegedly assaulting a woman just 10 days after he was released from Rikers over concerns about the spread of the virus behind bars. Robert Poindexter, 57, was being held at notorious NYC prison on a separate charge when he was released. He was charged Saturday with attempted assault. This is put it like that, among other offenses. The New York Post reported, citing anonymous police sources. So anyway, 5:45 a.m. Okay, so Flatbush is a very, how do I say this? It's the area that you expect it to happen in. If you get my drift, the people's skin color tends to be who you think they are. It's really close to a place called Brooklyn Heights. Brooklyn Heights is a beautiful area. From what I remember, it's a beautiful area. And this is right on the close to Brooklyn Heights. Probably like a 20-minute walk, or sorry, like probably like a 5-minute walk if you walk really brisk, but like 20 minutes to get like the heart of Brooklyn Heights into the edge of it, essentially, if I remember correctly. So the caller told the police a man had been walking across the street from a supportive housing development when he allegedly grabbed a 58-year-old woman whom he didn't know by the collar and pulled her into the school parking lot. Wow. The woman told officers he forced her to perform oral and demanded she remove her pants. I mean, these people are flipping insane. And like again, the same people who vote for these type of policies, basically they vote these guys in power so they can push this policy of releasing prison people simply because it's there's too much of a certain race. These are the things that lead. So these people are in jail for a reason, right? This is partially the product of again a single parent family, a culture that's kind of like divided. The push towards social justice. All these things add up, and you will see crime rise. And what they try to do in cities like New York and LA, they try to fudge the crime rates. So, for example, with stop and frisk, crime is going up, right? And you find these things out in leaks, right? But what they tell people is not to record the crime rates in the police station. They want to keep the crime, quote unquote, down. Otherwise, they'll have special investigations into the police department themselves. This is how corrupt it is. And what's going to lead to is that New York is going to elect, thankfully, another like a hard on crime mayor eventually. It's the cyclical cycle of things. When things get so bad, they'll eventually basically vote somebody who will always do what's right. And like after the person's out of office, then they'll start attacking. Just look again. The former mayor, Rudy Giuliani, I respect the hell out of that guy. He completely changed the culture of New York City. When he left, they elected another Bloomberg, but he wasn't Giuliani. Okay, Bloomberg, he kind of continued Giuliani's policy, but you can tell the shift was beginning. And then New York elected this guy called Bill De Blasio, who's a complete liberal hack. None of these guys actually. A lot of these guys just don't believe in these policies. They simply want power, and they hide behind their mansions. They'll never be how do I say this? They'll never be punished. These De Blasios and Cuomo's will never be punished for anything that they do. So they do it anyway. Here's another one. 2 weeks ago, uh, hmm, a convicted supervillain who was also released from Rikers over virus concerns was back behind bars after allegedly trying to rob a bank in Lower Manhattan. And these guys get a lot of things behind bars, right? Besides education, they tend to get a lot of support. Whatever support they need behind bars, they get. They're just not capable, though. James Little 41 was released on parole following the 1995 conviction. Had been arrested on March 3rd for allegedly beating and choking. Wow, and it's just again the same people who vote for these Democratic mayors. They're the ones who are mostly affected. In a bad way. He spent 3 weeks at Rikers Island before he was cleared for release on March 20th after his attorneys argued it was a hotbed of infection. An inmate at corrections officer at Rikers both tested. Okay, alright, so. Union officials and the State Department confirmed Governor Andrew Cuomo later cleared the way for about 1,200 non-violent offenders who were being held for parole to be released amid concerns about the spread. Since their 6 staff members have died, okay, at least 373 inmates tested positive. Again, some of these guys, okay, so here's the thing, right? So non-violent can be drug possession, but what I want is all these men who owe money for child support to get out of jail. It's like they shouldn't be there. They just shouldn't be there. Sorry, if women have the babies, you have to have the responsibility. Everything is wrapped up in the communist agenda, the feminist agenda. Everything's wrapped up there. A lot of these men shouldn't be in jail, and they end up releasing some of the most horrible people. Some things get lost in the paperwork. Sometimes, hey, there you go. The lawyer who's got his job argues, hey, it's a hotbed. Why let this man who's been accused of something? These places are just absolutely like full of it. Just it angers me a bit because I want safety for the citizens. Again, the number one job for a country is to protect its borders from foreign threats, right? But also another job happiness is basically protect the good citizens from the bad. There'll always be bad citizens. But when you get wrapped up in social justice and identity politics and communism making its way, you get things like this. And this is one more jumping off point. Here is Mayor Bill de Blasio. This is a mayor, like I said. This is what he's saying. I'm also launching a city task force on racial inclusion and equity, focusing on confronting health disparities, specific needs in communities. He'll never say specific needs as fatherhood. Get the money out of these how they say single mothers' hands. Don't reward them for idiotic decisions. Anyway, communities of color and breaking down structural racism. I want that mission baked into every aspect of our restart and recovery. What a complete there are a lot of words I want to say, nothing nice. All this is fluff, right? What he's trying to say, communities of color, what they really mean is black people, right? That's what they really mean. And he's not saying the crime stats, That's why they like saying these blanket statements. And let's be very honest, when you're not very honest, you create a culture of acceptability and failure. It shouldn't be acceptable to not graduate high school. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be acceptable to have 2 different daddies. It shouldn't be acceptable. But they create this culture once again, and these little things piss me off. You're gonna get good people hurt by releasing bad people for social justice reason. But on the bright side, it'll always affect the people who want these policies most. Okay, they're the ones who will be affected most because they don't understand their own decision making, their own logic. They haven't really, how do I say this? They haven't analyzed themselves. Sometimes you have to analyze yourself. Always debate yourself and your ideas. Okay? Always, for every single thing. Alright, so it was an interesting subject. Nobody's talked about, and I like doing things that are different that have been beaten. That was it, beaten by the wayside. Beaten to death. Yeah, I like doing little things that should get more coverage. Okay, guys, chat, save, subscribe. The usual story. Avoid large crowds. Again, you don't want to give the government even more reason to implement more things to take your freedoms away. You don't want that stuff. Take it as a serious threat, and these things should pass. Hopefully by summer, everybody will have a nice summer. That's my hope. All right, take care. Bye. Thumbs up.